Hi folks, welcome back to The Pulse. I'm Marcel, and it's another before and after extravaganza. I've got photos for you. I've had some breakthroughs the past 6 months that I want to share with you guys and really discuss. Hopefully it leads some other people to some solutions that they might be having. Now, the toughest areas that I've had to deal with when I've been trying to rejuvenate my body has been around the face. So we'll start with the forehead, the cheeks, which you can see right now, the wrinkles here, and some around the neck, and of course the chin. Also the gut area, some extra skin there. I lost about 50 pounds. I started taking supplements. I'm going to get into the whole routine, sort of recap that, because it's impossible for me to tell you which one's doing what. I can just say that in the very beginning, resveratrol led to some weight loss, better recovery. That was enhanced a lot more when I started taking NMN, and I talk about that many times on this channel, but I take other things as well, and I think in the context of what I'm going to talk about today, I need to recap everything, to be fair, because I think there's been a change over the past 6 months in specifically the chin area, some of the other areas, but I can show you before and after pics. You saw the thumbnail. The recent pics, I've had a little more definition in the actual point of the chin area. And, was kind of just going right into skin. Now, probably only reduced about half of that, but it still ends up being significant. Right now, my face is moving, I'm talking, and the lines are exposed. It's just the way it goes, right? I'm fighting back an avalanche of aging, and I'm trying to push it back up the hill, but it keeps falling. So aging is a moving target. I'm never going to stop it. I'm just trying to slow down and reverse the effects that I can. But I do think your face, especially for me, I'm going to be making music videos. I'm going to do pictures. I'm talking to you guys once or twice a week and putting myself out here. I don't change the lighting much in here. I don't even change the t-shirt much. I want some continuity for myself and for others that tune in and want to see how I'm doing. I'm very aware that you guys are watching, and that helps motivate me. It helps push me, drive me to do more and more. Mostly, the progress has been slow, very gradual and slow. Like there was a lot of progress the first year, and then it was sort of just refining. But over the past 6 months, as I mentioned, I did start to notice something. I'd be shaving, look in the mirror, and I started to see a little bit less here under the chin. And then I started taking some pics, and where every time, your eyes are just going to go to the worst part when you're looking at yourself, right? You're just going to say, oh, look at those lines on my head. Look at the wrinkles around my eyes. Look at I've got dark circles under my eyes. I still have all these things, but they've been reduced over time enough to where I can say, okay, I'm doing all right. I'm almost 60 years old. I'll be 60 at the end of next year. And I'm trying to fight back that avalanche the best I can. So when something jumps out at me, I take note of it. And over the past few weeks, I've started to see the progress. I want to recap everything I'm taking, as I said, because I don't know how much synergy is going on between these different supplements. Then I'm going to talk about one specific thing that I'm taking and things that I'm doing that I think have started to make a difference by expanding on the muscular activity around my face. And also because it's been my whole body. I've improved my muscle tone throughout my whole body. And I think that's also extended to some of the muscle tone around the face, which has helped tighten some of this up under the chin. That's my theory from doing all these activities week after week myself. So the first supplement I take is resveratrol. Now I'll put the amounts below. All these come from Do Not Age except the vitamin C, E, zinc vitamin that I get at the grocery store. If you use my code THEPULSE, you save 10% on any of these, as I've said before. A little bit of that goes back to this channel when you make a purchase, which is, of course, appreciated. Again, the first thing I take is resveratrol, then NMN, then TMG, CAAKG, vitamin D, K, and magnesium, and then the CE zinc vitamin that I get from the grocery store, SIRT6 activator, hyaluronic acid, apigenin, sulforaphane, collagen, fisetin, quercetin, creatine, omega-3, and Glynac, which is glycine and NEC. Now, those last few were all added in the last 6 months. And I talk about creatine. I've talked about it before, having too much impact too fast. So I knew that it worked, but I was having some muscle stiffness, so I slowed down. After about 2 weeks, well, I stopped taking it for 2 weeks. Then I started taking just 3 grams a day, and that's all I take. And for the past 4 or 5 months, about 4 months, I think, I've taken 3 grams a day of creatine and slowly but surely expanding my muscle activity throughout my whole body. And I've started to notice that a little better muscular structure around my face in general, a little less puffiness, a little more definition, which was a goal. It was a goal the whole time, but I think the creatine probably working in tandem with some of these other things. And I also started taking omega-3, which I'm a big believer in, and I've felt better taking omega-3. I also haven't been sick a single time since taking NAC, so that one's pretty important as well. I started taking it in the summer, and I did have about a 7 or 8 day cold that I fought right before I went to Washington and got over that. That was the only time that was the most I've been sick, or the longest I've been sick in the past 3 years. So that was a tough one to battle. But since then, nothing. And NAC is supposed to be good for your immune system. Take that for what it's worth. I do think that it's helped me. I know that there's camera angles. I know that I didn't exactly copy the face angle in the car in the thumbnail. I get it. That's all fair game, by the way. You could certainly criticize some of that. I'm just telling you that living with myself day in, day out, doing a lot of video work, doing some selfies, doing some photos, I've seen changes in the face. I've also increased my workouts. I've kind of felt inspired by the new muscular activity. So I thought, well, I'm fitter. I've got this music project coming up. I might as well increase my running, increase my tennis, increase my weightlifting. I also had some sore shoulder issues, so I slowed down the tennis a little bit. A lot of that's from the serve motion. I don't think it has anything to do with aging. You can have a tennis shoulder or a tennis elbow, for that matter, at any age. My son, is 12, and sometimes his shoulder gets a little sore from serving. So I've toned that down. But lately I've gotten back to it and doing pretty well with tennis as well. So I increased the fitness. I got back on creatine. I started adding a few other key supplements. I also quit alcohol. Now I've had like 2 beers. I say quit. I had 2 beers in the last month. And I've reduced alcohol a lot over the past 6 to 8 months, since winter, I would say. I've talked about that here before. I do think that's helped me get more results from the workouts, better recovery, also maybe allowed the supplements to do a little bit more for me, the vitamins, the supplements. These are all natural ingredients, and your liver has to process all of these. Well, when you drink alcohol, the first thing that the liver works on is get that alcohol out of your system. So I also think I've probably got a little more water retention in the skin, but again, I know I still have wrinkles here. I still have some here. I get it. But overall, yeah, I do think things have improved. And those are the best reasons I can give you. If there's one supplement, I would say probably creatine has played the biggest role. But of course, I'm not eating sugar. I'm not eating bread. I don't even eat the chips. I had Bugles on one of my videos. That was like my splurge once a week or something. I'd have like 6 or 7 of them. I'm not having any chips at all. Lately, I've been pretty solid, pretty clean, eating more vegetables than ever, and just sticking to my routine very tightly. And I think it's finally been paying off, and feeling better, and I think looking okay. The other thing I'll mention is, besides overall my face looking a little more tight, a little more muscular, I would say, oddly, the hair's a little darker. And if you look at that thumbnail again, you'll see that I do have some tan. That's just from summer. Usually in the summer, my hair gets lighter. This year, my hair was actually darker in the summer than it was at the end of spring in March when I took that before picture. So that's kind of interesting. It's also slowly moved down my head. I mentioned in a previous video, there's like a line on the bottom of the back of my head where there's still gray. And my hairstylist was noticing that. He's like, wow, you have this line down here. Everything's dark right until there. He also said it got thicker and filled in a bit on the top. So there's something going on with the hair as well. Again, I gave you the whole routine. I gave you the whole stack. I don't know which ones are doing it. I just have to be honest about that. I don't know. But I'm happy with the results, and I don't feel any downsides from anything. I think exercising a lot, keeping that metabolism very active, eating healthy, eating a lot of fresh vegetables, I do think helps me get this stuff in and out of my system well and helps me metabolize the things I'm taking better than I would otherwise. So pro tip there for you. If you're going to do more supplements, make sure you're doing things for your body to help process it and get it in and get it out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.